Episode 101 of the Global Diamond Broker Hard Truth Diamond Podcast.
Wow, was that ever civilized for you? Episode, after you got it wrong, after you couldn't remember that it's actually episode 101 and not episode 100.
I'm still feeling a little hazy from Vegas.
Yeah, are you? I'm hazy from salmon fishing on the weekend. Where
he catches and releases,
big
guys.
Salmon, huh?
Do you catch and release?
I'm a catch and releaser. I was fishing with my two sons. They are not catch and releasers. Consequently, there's sushi going to be eaten here for about the next 2 years.
Yeah, not with you guys. It'll
Right?
probably be done in like a week.
I thought you were going to... That's like when you asked me the other day...
Do you eat it raw?
do you eat it raw? And I responded by saying, yes, they call it sushi.
I just didn't know that it was sushi grade. So like normally you would have to freeze it. And then there's like this whole process to eat raw fish.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I could be in trouble here. I bring the soy sauce on the boat.
Really?
Oh, and the wasabi. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
so
We
you do
carve
eat
up
it.
right there.
You don't release it.
No, my sons don't release. I'm a catch and releaser. I do not hunt.
But you're
I
still
do
participating.
But I'm a Buddhist, okay? If I so I don't believe in killing animals. I mean, there's the odd podcast partner I'd like to put down. Is that wrong? That's kind of wrong, right? Anyways. Look, here's my message this week. Don't get manipulated anymore by the diamond industry. Oh my God. What we have seen since JCK, since Las Vegas, is unbelievable. You now have De Beers. Let me just give you a bit of an update and tell you where we're at today. You have De Beers, who is the legendary, iconic diamond company who started it all with Cecil Rhodes in the 1800s and the diamond fields in South Africa, up for sale for billions less than what they were just a few years ago, all predicated on laboratory diamonds and the growth of the laboratory diamond industry, which, by the way, 2% of the engagement rings in the by far the biggest market in the world, the North American market, were in 2018 out of a laboratory. Today it's over half. The growth is unbelievable. And
it's
so
reported that more than half, but we have a feeling
it's even higher.
It's
than
even
that.
higher.
That's exactly. And we can be a microcosm of the industry because we're pro-choice. But yes, it's reported that. I'm going to say 60%, 2 out of 3 engagement rings today, at least. I mean, they're in Walmart, for God's sake.
I had a conversation with my sister, and she was like, oh, like, do only young people buy lab-created diamonds for their engagement rings and diamond jewelry?
Which is a good question,
And
because it's
a
the
great question.
millennials and the Gen
For
X's.
sure. But I had to tell her that, no, I would say 75% of even our clientele is the mature,
Informed, educated,
very affluent man.
care about ethics, care about the environment, care economically. I mean, there's no difference in these. And, the misinformation in the industry is unbelievable. So we get to JCK, the biggest gem and jewelry show in the world, where it shuts the industry down. It really does. And for about 2 weeks, they ship all their goods, all their diamonds, everything to JCK to show. And we already talked about this last week. JCK, the biggest jewelry show in the world, it shuts the industry down. Anyway, so now that De Beers is up for sale and nobody wants to buy it, they have decided they're not doing lab-grown diamonds anymore.
In their jewelry.
Oh, is it just in their jewelry? Is it
jewelry.
just in their jewelry?
Yeah.
Oh my!
Should I fact check this?
Yeah,
Maybe I
think
should
I've
fact
got
check
it
this.
right. Anyway, it does not matter because it's not true. Like so much of the information. I mean, again, Donald Trump taught us one thing: don't trust the media. It's simply not true. You're not going to unring this bell of laboratory created diamonds. The fact that it went from 2018 to less than 2% of engagement rings to over 50% they're admitting to in the industry
Likely more.
is unbelievable.
I actually was right. De Beers will ditch a controversial experiment to sell lab-grown diamond jewelry.
Wait, the first part of that, what was it again?
De Beers will ditch
before that.
I was right?
Wow. That's something we don't get to say very often around here. Not funny. She's always right. Everything.
Anyways, continue on. Go ahead.
So what, are you checking all my facts now? I candidly, that's good to hear because I didn't believe it when I heard it. And this morning I was watching some ad from some jeweler who's showing colored diamonds, laboratory created colored diamonds, and saying how De Beers isn't selling them anymore, which I said at the time. They just invested in $100 million plant in Oregon to make them. I'm sure they're not out of the game, and clearly they're not out of the game. And this is all new news, you guys. This is all the smoke that's coming out of the industry. I don't know if you know, no one seems to care that De Beers, here's another one, visited the White House this week.
I didn't know that.
You did not know that? Well, this is it's
I kind
interesting.
of have a life outside of work.
It's not even that. Even if you're in the industry, I have to look for this stuff and then I have to search it up and find out. So here's the other thing about a mined diamond today. And look, I'm pro-choice. Please don't take it one way or the other. But the news is there's an embargo against Russian blood diamonds. Mm-hmm. Do you know that embargo is not in place? Mm-hmm. Do you know they're still negotiating? So the trade of Russian diamonds is still taking place. Mm-hmm. Oh, and do you also know it's only on certain sizes? And it's the bigger sizes where most of the stuff is the smaller sizes. It's just fascinating to be part of the bullshit. And I've started using the word because as I do research, I know you have a life outside of this. I do not. As we start to do research, what we're seeing is this misinformation and this miscalculation and this, message being sent that is anything
but the truth.
But factual. And we like the facts. So De Beers visited the White House. You can Google this stuff. They didn't see anybody of any importance. That I can assure you. I don't know if it was just a shake hands hello, but it's apparently about the Russian embargo on the Russian diamonds, the blood diamonds from Russia being sold, but it's not really taking place. Mm-hmm. So that was a big story that you and I covered was the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming.
We were supposed to do a video. What happened?
They're here. They're absolutely here. I may do it this week, but thank goodness, because here we go again. Right?
Boy, that's noisy today.
The Russians aren't coming. The Russians are here.
Anyway. Okay, is it my turn to tell my story?
Okay, go ahead and tell your story.
Do you know who Justin Bieber is?
No.
You actually don't know who Justin Bieber is? He's a Canadian pop singer. The one who's sing Baby.
Doesn't ring.
I'm not going to sing it. Anyways.
Of course I know who Justin Bieber is.
Okay. So him and his partner, Hailey Bieber, recently renewed their vows, and he replaced her 10-carat oval diamond engagement ring with a beautiful 18-carat diamond engagement ring.
That's it? That's the whole story?
Size counts. So she now wears
when
her...
When you say size counts, do you mean SIGHS?
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant.
Or do you mean SIZE?
I'll let you decide.
Like that's 18 carats. That's...
it's a fat
That's
rock.
3.5 grams of diamond.
Did you actually get that right this time?
I think I got.
Yeah.
What do you mean this time? I don't do the
You
information.
did the story
The
last
story
in
where
Vegas.
you had 200.
You told me to write 200 grams.
You need to learn to take responsibility for things.
For someone else's mistakes? No, thank you. Anyways, she now wears her 10 carat diamond ring, her first one, on her pinky finger. And where's her new
Her
one?
10 carat?
Yeah.
So they went from 8 to 10?
They went from 10 to 18.
10 to 18.
Mm-hmm. And the new ring is now valued up to 1.5 million US dollars.
Yeah.
Do you think it's lab or
interesting.
mind?
I think it has to be laboratory diamond because they're giving them, or pardon me, I think it has to be a mine diamond because basically they're giving mine diamonds away today. It's not what everybody thinks. Look, there's stockpiles of these things. Jewelers, mines, everybody else, the stockpiles are growing. I made a replied to a comment today about the fact that, what's going on in the industry right now is you can, for the first time, get around the industry enforced pricing of a mine diamond by offering. They need to sell these things. I'm sure Justin got it for a deal because they can't charge for them anymore. And no one can tell the difference anyway. And this is, there's so much. I'm into the politics of the industry. Judy's much more shallow than me. And
No, I'm not.
yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Size counts, really?
I meant SIGHS.
Even when we, the number one thing I say to people is, if you ask a woman what she wants, almost 99% out of 100 women will go, oh, I want it to be beautiful and that it sparkles. But not GIA Judy. She wants a beautiful sparkle and big. So good girl.
I mean, can you blame me?
No, I can't blame you. I mean, certainly nowadays, when we look out at the landscape of what's going on in the diamond business,
It's the norm now.
size.
The amount of 5
do
carats, the amount of 5 carat engagement rings we've been making
is amazing.
is amazing. We don't really do as many. I mean, we still do a lot of 1, 2, 3 carats.
Mostly
but
for earrings now, though.
Mostly
I'm
for
finding.
earrings.
For stud earrings and stuff. It's the whole paradigm of the industry has changed completely. And again, I predicted all of this. Years ago, I started making these predictions. You can go back to the start of our Instagram post together and our TikTok post together. And I talk about these things and not to toot my own horn because, well, I have to because no one else will, but I was right on, for lack of a better way to say it, the money. And today we look out at the landscape, and if anything, it's happened much faster. The future is laboratory-created diamonds.
And it's bright.
And what's going to happen? When we got to Vegas, what's going to happen with De Beers? Who's going to be the custodian of the industry? Now there's a group in place who are in Vegas who are trying to structure the same sort of structure to manipulate the marketplace for laboratory created that De Beers has had. We're in the middle of all that right now.
You mean like monopolizing?
Like monopolizing the industry. That's exactly it. You're quite good
So
today.
interesting.
Eh? You're using some big words.
I practiced.
Oh, did you?
No.
I know. So that's where we're at today in the diamond industry, and it's I don't even know how to describe it. I'm disappointed by the industry.
Why?
Well, because of the lying that they do, because of the absolute bullshit that's out there that really isn't based on anything factual.
Well, that's why I think our role in this marketplace as disruptors and to kind of educate people is so valuable to not only jewelers, but, the regular Joe Schmo who's looking to get an engagement ring.
Joe Schmo?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a nice thing to call the regular guy looking for an engagement
Wait, is it
ring?
not?
No, it's not. This could be Yeah, we don't want to call them Joe
Not a
Schmo.
Joe Schmo, just a regular, ordinary
Person.
person.
Right? People who just want a beautiful engagement ring and want to spend their money wisely.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot about this. I mean, if you can buy the most beautiful, you got to remember the return on these things is a lifetime. And
But
so
it's not financial.
it's not, there's no financial. That's been blown out of the water.
But still, people are thinking that mined diamonds hold better resale value, and it's shocking to me.
It's unbelievable because they do not. There is no resale market for a white
Neither
diamond
a diamond.
engagement.
Yes.
And so it's been a fascinating journey. It's been a fascinating journey because we talk about the fact it's all we seem to talk about is this white diamond situation with lab and mine, but it's really a time in the history of the industry like no other time. Like whoever would have thought they could make them in a lab and nobody could tell the difference. Whoever would have thought it would be so overwhelming in such a short period of time. Like this is less than 6 years that from 0 to 50%. And we know it's higher. And people don't, the industry itself has had all these ethical issues with, blood diamonds and children and mining the diamonds and, the enforceability by some pretty bad people in the world around the mines and access to the diamonds to, being liberated from that to a environmental and ethical product that, shines brighter, quite frankly, from that subjective point of view. It's kind of good, right? No? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So forgive us. Look, we appreciate all the comments. We get so many positive comments about the podcast. We appreciate all the questions. But this is a reality of what's going on in this business today. It's a whole new business. I was reading other numbers. Today it's a $20 billion a year industry, the lab-grown industry. They're saying by 2027 it'll be $30 billion. What the hell?
It's crazy.
The growth is unbelievable, and we're going to be here to
educate, inform. What else?
And to broker, to provide prices that
defy comparison globally. Do this.
Yeah. So here's the next thing with that. Before we leave, is I think that's what couples are looking for. Whether they know it or not, I've been doing this for 43 years, although I don't look it. And over a lifetime, the return of having the prettiest diamond in the room at the best price up front, so you don't even need to think about or worry about liquidating it or it being an asset in your family, because they never are. Maybe if it's even Justin Bieber's 18 karat, go try to sell it today, Justin. It ain't going to be worth anything. It'll be worth half right away. So
Colin has clients that have purchased mined diamonds from him in previous decades when lab created diamonds weren't a thing.
Right.
And now they're coming back for diamond jewelry or even to upgrade their diamond rings.
And they all want lab grown.
Isn't that so interesting?
It's so interesting. But at the time, I tell all my clients, and I've told them forever, it's no financial investment. Mm-hmm. There's no financial return on diamonds. Maybe fancy colored diamonds, rare argyle pinks, that sort of thing can have they're holding today a little bit if they're properly verified and certified, but that's kind of it. So anyway, that's, I think, where we're at today. If it sounds a little confusing, I'm certainly confused. I'm seeing things that I never ever would have thought I would ever see. The misrepresentation, the manipulation of the all across the globe of people who would consider a diamond is unbelievable to me. Mm-hmm. And the lack of, I'll say this, the retail industry, the lack of knowledge they have, all they do is take the feed from above and spew it out like it's reality because it helps them sell diamonds. It's like an IGI certificate. If they're selling you IGI, they're making more money from you than they should, and you're not getting what you should. And not to shit on you, but that's the reality.
Well said.
Thank you very much.
Anyways.
Just warming up. Can we do like episode 102 right now?
Okay.
We'll do 2 episodes this week.
Okay, go change your shirt. Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in.
Thanks for being here. You got questions? We've got answers. We're the Global Diamond Broker. Have a good week. See you next week. Well, we'll see you online anyway.